So speaking of your own career, we're obviously a couple weeks out from your title defense against Ian Garry at Philly at UFC 330. How has camp been? How's preparation been? What do you make of Ian as an opponent?
Yeah, everything is going very well. We stay in the same gym. Like last couple of fights, we stay in New Jersey and training in Nick Cotton MMA. It's a very nice gym. I have too many my brothers and friends and sparring partner with me. Almost all team is here. We're training together. Habib is here, Javier is here, and we're training every day very hard to be ready.
And obviously Dagestan and Ireland have a bit of history with Habib and Conor, obviously Paul Hughes and Usman over in PFL. You're preparing for another Irishman yourself. What do you make of Ian as an opponent and kind of carrying on that rivalry between countries?
This is just like a regular opponent. It's nothing some between country, but still we have 2-0 now. It's gonna be 3-0.
Do you think that getting this fight against Islam Makhachev, do you think you've helped to make that happen aside from just being a great fighter?
I believe so. I know I've earned this fight from fighting, but I absolutely know that my online presence has helped funnel fans into the same mindset, because I've earned it. There's no doubt that I've earned it. I beat the former champion. My reward for winning this fight means my next fight is a guy I already beat on 3 weeks' notice. That's my reward. That's my next opponent. Does that make sense? A guy I already beat.
Makhachev.
After Makhachev, when I beat him, my reward is you have to fight a guy again that you already beat on 3 weeks' notice. I've earned the fight. I went in and I beat him by 3 rounds. Dominated me, couldn't take me down. The whole point of his game was he couldn't take me down. It's a guy who trained with Islam.
Для своего имени, для наследия выбрал бы Моралеса. Почему? Потому что он сейчас непобежденный. Если завтра выиграешь Иана Герри, будут говорить, его Шавкат побеждал там несколько боев назад. И, я согласен, что они оба.
Ian Garry has opened up about his mindset and strategy as he prepares for the biggest fight of his career against Islam Makhachev at UFC 330. Despite entering the bout as the underdog,
I feel like when I know who I'm going to fight, I start with the negative elements. What could go wrong? What could he do right? Where could he try win the fight? How could he try win the fight? Is it going to be by taking me down and holding me down? Is it going to be by trying to cause chaos and make it a scramble and I have to be smart with my defense and move my feet and get out of the pocket? What are the ways that this person I'm fighting, I believe, could he try to take advantage of to win this fight? Once he does that, I train for all of them. So that in the fight, I know I'm mentally, I've done it. And the closer to the fight, every week that gets closer, it's more and more and more and more.
As the fight approaches, when you're in camp, what finding those 1% actually looks like for you? The places that you have to put yourself to be doing more than anybody else?
I'm going to say something that I think a lot of people wouldn't expect, but I feel like the 1% is by doing less rest and recovery and joy as a 1%. Like, I enjoy spending time with my wife and my kids. I enjoy spending time with my friends and my family. I feel better when I'm playing in the garden with my little boy.
You're not looking at your watch thinking another hour of sparring and I'll be even fitter, even stronger, even more prepared.
I train once a day for maybe 5 days a week.
Even in camp?
Hard. When I show up at those sessions, I give it 100%. Whatever I'm doing, I'm always focusing on something each session that helps me get to where I want to be in my expectations of myself.
Garry remains completely confident in his abilities. He respects Makhachev's championship experience and recognizes his strengths, but he also believes there are weaknesses he can exploit. Rather than feeling intimidated, Garry sees this fight as the perfect opportunity to shock the MMA world and prove that he belongs among the elite. One of the most surprising aspects of Garry's preparation is his belief that success doesn't come from constantly doing more. While many fighters push themselves with endless training sessions, Garry believes the real advantage comes from doing less. He prioritizes recovery, quality sleep, proper nutrition, and spending time with his wife, children, friends, and family. According to Garry, happiness and emotional balance are just as important as physical training, because they allow him to perform at his absolute best when it's time to step into the octagon. Garry also explained that he doesn't treat training camp like a temporary lifestyle. Instead, he believes being a professional fighter is a year-round commitment. Even during fight camp, he trains only once a day for about 5 days a week. But every session is performed with maximum intensity and focus. Rather than exhausting himself, He believes in training smarter, recovering properly, and arriving on fight night physically fresh and mentally sharp. When preparing for an opponent like Islam Makhachev, Garry starts by focusing on the worst-case scenarios. Before thinking about how he can win, he studies every possible way he could lose. He carefully analyzes his opponent's strengths, whether it's takedowns, grappling, pressure, or striking, and builds his training around defending those threats. By preparing for every dangerous situation ahead of time, Garry believes nothing inside the cage will surprise him. As fight week approaches, Garry says all doubt disappears because he knows he has already experienced every possible situation during training. That preparation allows him to fight freely without hesitation. He believes confidence isn't something that magically appears. It comes from putting in the work, solving every problem beforehand, and trusting the process. By the time he enters the octagon, he feels mentally and physically ready for anything Makhachev can throw at him. Garry's confidence goes even deeper than preparation. He says he has always felt that he was born to fight and believes there is a higher purpose guiding his career. Every time he steps into the cage, he feels everything falls into place naturally. Even though Makhachev has defended titles, beaten champions, and accomplished nearly everything in the sport, Garry insists he feels no fear. Instead, he trusts his instincts and believes this is exactly where he is meant to be. Another key part of Garry's philosophy is balance. He believes every part of his life affects his performance inside the cage. Being a good husband, father, and friend gives him peace of mind, allowing him to compete without emotional distractions. He argues that many fighters become consumed by training camps, while he prefers to maintain healthy relationships because they make him stronger both mentally and emotionally. Garry also credits his year-round lifestyle for allowing him to accept difficult fights on short notice. He recalled taking major challenges, including his professional debut and fights against elite opponents, because he always stays prepared. Instead of rebuilding his conditioning every time a fight is announced, he remains ready throughout the year, giving him the confidence to say yes whenever an opportunity appears. At just 28 years old, Garry wants to stay as active as possible during the prime of his career. He believes frequent competition is the fastest path to improvement and has no interest in spending long periods away from the sport. For him, constant activity, smart preparation, and continuous learning are essential if he wants to become UFC champion. Finally, Garry shared his thoughts on what it truly means to be a man. He believes strength isn't about hiding emotions or pretending to be fearless. Instead, real masculinity comes from integrity, responsibility, keeping your word, and taking care of the people you love. He admits that chasing greatness requires difficult sacrifices and understands that not everyone will support his journey. However, he remains fully committed to becoming the best fighter in the world and believes that complete dedication is the price of reaching the top.